Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance. My name is Tristan. Sorry about last time. I just got lightheaded and dizzy and all that. Some games do that. Well, not even games. Just happens to me now. I can go over that. Well, what are we doing? What buttons am I pushing? Quests. I know more about him. I'll have to ask around if anyone knows more about this Limpy Lubosh. Maybe I'll learn something useful. Alright, well, we gotta wait till nighttime, so we asked around here. And
Good day to you. What do you need?
as you can see, it's all grayed out.
Is there anything suspicious going on in these parts?
Indeed there is. Around here, you should hear about what Vashek the groom has been up to at the stables. When the head groom told the lads here, they fell off their seats laughing. And that's not all. Just last night, Father Godwin was here, calling fire and brimstone down on old Gertrude, the herb woman. He's not one to make a fuss over some trifle either. Good luck to you.
Yeah, so everybody like around here seems to be grayed out. Let's go back to around his house, I think.
Yeah.
Came from Greetings. What do you need? Take care.
Good afternoon. God bless.
You two are grayed out. What about you?
God be with you. May the Lord watch over you.
If it's gray, it means we've already heard it. So it's nothing new. Okay, so this is his house here. We searched it. Are you alive? Oh, you are. Okay. Doesn't seem to be anyone here.
God be with you. What can I do for you? Goodbye.
What time is it? 17. At nighttime, we can talk to the priest at the tavern. Nobody here.
Good God! What happened to your clothes? If you were robbed, you should report it. Good luck then.
What do you want here? Hop it or I'll call the guard.
God be with you. What can I do for you?
Yeah, seriously.
Good luck then.
Nobody wants to talk.
Good health to you. I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow like you? Well, what do I care? Ask.
See, everything's screwed out.
That's all. Thank you.
May the Lord watch over you.
I don't know what to do.
What was that? What the hell was that? What? Something you're looking for here.
Yes.
Jesus! Good day to you. What do you need?
Did we do something wrong or something? Did we step on a chicken or something?
Greetings. What do you need?
Oh.
May the Lord watch over you.
Unless we wait till tonight and talk to people at the tavern and maybe get information then. That's the only thing that I can think.
God be with you. What can I do for you? God bless.
Jesus Christ be praised. Good luck to you.
Like we've searched down here. I mean, I can go over here. I don't see too much difference. We checked here. We checked here, yes, last episode. Here today. All up here yesterday, or last episode. Oops. Oh, there. Really? Got it in one shot. My first thought was, oh, I'm not going to lose an arrow. Oh, there it is. And I lost the arrow. Horse probably thinks I'm a pain in the ass.
Good God. What happened to your clothes? If you were robbed, you should report it. God bless.
Good day to you. May the Lord watch over you.
I think they were talking about it, but still. Anything on this side? Anybody over here? Those aren't people. Okay. I think we just wait till nighttime then. Try one more person. Person down here. Nope.
Farewell.
I could do with a bite to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, there's more people here.
My respects to you.
Take care now.
Good day to you. Farewell.
Anybody at all?
God be with you. Farewell.
Anyone?
Good God. What happened to your clothes? If you were robbed, you should report it.
She's a mother. She has eyes in the back of
Good
her
luck
head.
then.
And good health.
Jesus Christ be praised. God be with you.
God be with you.
Farewell.
Nothing new from you.
I'd like a beer.
Okay, so we gotta wait for the priest, I think.
Good day to you. Farewell.
You offer training for what? Horse riding.
I'd like you to show me how to ride a horse better.
Certainly. I'd like to practice the basics. All right, but it'll cost you. Now pay close attention.
Okay.
Pull me an ale.
Your horse can carry more, but is slower. Can't be combined with racehorse perk. The horse is faster, but carries less. I'm not interested in either of those. You get enough fragrant herbs in your inventory, you get a +2 charisma bonus. If your horse has enough fragrant herbs in its saddle, it will shy less. When reading, you will get tired and hungry twice as slow as normal. All books are cheaper in the shop. With that one.
Good day to you. What do you need?
Somebody to give me some information.
All the women. God bless them.
A tankard here.
Jesus Christ be praised. Good luck to you.
I feel like I've already talked to all of these people out and about. When does he come down? Godwin's concubine. Sounds about right.
Jesus Christ be praised. I've only got 2 hands. May the Lord watch over you.
One beer. The service is a bit slow.
When I got to the Limping Bandit's cottage, I soon found out things wouldn't be simple. I did find the bandit, but he was done with limping forever and nailed to the wall of his cottage. It seems somebody was trying to tying up loose ends. I found out from Ushid's folks that while Lubosh was a nasty piece of work, lately he'd taken to religion and spent lots of times at the church talking to the priest. So I went to see Father Godwin, the local parish priest, and tried to persuade him to tell me something about this Lubosh. He told me he couldn't break the confessional seal and tell me what Lubosh had confessed, but he promised me he'd try and figure out some other way to help me. I don't see the priest here. Be inside? Yep.
Farewell.
I'm sorry I can't tell you
Hell
everything,
over here, please.
but maybe we can work something out. But first, I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning.
Here, enjoy.
They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle.
Got it for you right here.
My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle.
God bless
I
them.
wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
You think I'm too young for the job, Father?
I do, to tell the truth.
Well, I can only apologise for my lack of grey hair and gout.
Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Noel? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home.
The priest's voice does not match this game at all.
I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
Oh, you're just making excuses. The people who say the church is corrupt are right. You don't care about anyone, only your own comfort.
I'm sorry you see it that way. Really sorry. You've no idea how wrong you are.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical, condemning vices, and of course describing them in detail. The tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days, and stories from real life with a nice moral to them are popular as well, especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Who preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor? Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
You want to preach against debauchery. He's got a concubine next to him.
Enjoy.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
One of the things he said about preaching in Czech, at this time, the Bible was only written in Latin and had to be preached in Latin, so all sermons were Latin.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
So he's a hypocrite and doesn't have an issue with it. Got it.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Want to make the bet?
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
przyszła bida mora lat. To nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj panu desej smutek, godnielo i rano utek. Niech już małżeński majstak, do wczera żylne staje prak. Už sej moji svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jich učit. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední jen. Budeme se bávy, ano ráda slávy a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět.
Enough of this!
Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Really?
Dopsy you!
Forgot how to fight.
Is that all you've got?
Whoa!
Go and wink at it.
Back. Get your penance now.
Not all you.
Can't tell if I'm winning or losing anything here. Didn't win that.
Insolent. What?
God.
Oh, this is not gonna help my case.
Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're a buffoon.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath.
And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
You old goat.
Come here.
Don't know if I should pause this or not.
Oh.
I'm gonna pause.
Priest.
Sorry. What the hell?
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Oh. Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Well, all right. But I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Christ, it was 5 minutes ago for me, and I don't remember the ceremony. For Henry, it was last night, and he got pissed drunk afterwards. Doubt he remembers anything. I need to change. What are we wearing?
Huh?
We have to start mass. It's already...
Reputation lost.
thought he'd never show up. The swill pop.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God, any minute now he'll throw up.
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
I'm not looking forward to this. I'm a slow reader.
Which one of them will puke first?
I know it's going to be timed. Oh, it's not. Yeah, if it's like that time challenge and I gotta pick between three things, I gotta pick the wrong thing. Begin the sermon confidently is the best bet.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
That boy has a cheek.
God stands, we are...
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule. That right belongs to God alone. It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines, even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the pullets! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Aye, all honour to Godwin. Let him drink like one of us.
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Yay.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that was.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, and he told it nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
I thought the sermon we would have, or we had to give, would be more like basically one line, choose from three, one line, choose from three. There will be a tournament in Rattay tomorrow. You can enroll by going. Do we have armor at all? Like, where'd all our stuff go? Back down. I want to talk to the priest one more time before we go anywhere. Where you disappeared to?
God be with you.
Nothing new? Okay.
Luck to you.
Do you have any work that needs doing?
My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local witch.
A witch?
The herb woman, old Gertrude. That devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no laughing matter. Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Ujet's women to witchery.
A little bird told you did it.
You know how good people are at seeing the splinter in another's eye and not the beam in their own.
In other words, someone's been gossiping. And what's the problem?
As long as herb women stick to giving psychic to folk and bloated cows, assisting in childbirth, or burning incense in bedrooms to help with sleep, then nothing at all. But this is sacrilege, and it's unsafe. All sorts of molds and lichens and poisonous plants and other foul things go into those concoctions. I'd hate to see her poison some poor gullible lass.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to go and see her and find out what she's been up to. I know she lives in fear of the Holy Church, so tell her I sent you. That will make her talk and think twice about encouraging witchcraft. If you learn that she truly did involve folk in some foolishness, find out all you can and deal with it.
Consider it done.
Good. And never fear. I'm a man who always pays his debts. You'll find Gertrude, the old herb woman, in the woods. God be with you.
Where? Yeah, let's go do that. Okay, so we gotta head there and then down. All right.
Yeah.
There's the archery range. Follow this road. God, so much of this looks like a good place to be ambushed.
Yeah.
God be with you. What can I do for you?
I've come from the priest. They're saying you incited some women to witchcraft.
Me? Witchcraft? That's nothing but idle chatter.
You'd be wise to give me a straight answer. I mean you no harm.
As long as it's the truth you speak. Very well. I'll tell you everything. I've done a very foolish thing. It's preying on my mind so much I can't sleep a wink.
I'm supposed to believe an old witch has pangs of conscience.
Laugh if you like, but it's not a word of a lie. You probably know I sell various magic lotions and potions alongside my herbs. Well, there's one I wish I hadn't sold. You see, Vera, Zlata, and Kuta from Uzhitz wanted a magic ointment from me. I kept refusing them, but in the end, I let them talk me into it.
What kind of ointment was it?
One that will show you a world no one else can see. A place of wonder and terror. The flowers might start talking to you, or the earth could swallow you up. I don't know if it's the work of the devil or of God himself, but the ointment has that power. But it could poison any person who doesn't know how to use it right.
So all this talk of witches anointing themselves and then flying to their sabbaths on broomsticks.
The ointment could make a person see such things. But it was stupid of me letting those foolish women get their hands on it. They could poison themselves or fall off a cliff while they're lost in a dream.
So she gave them acid trips. Lovely.
Will you give me the ointment recipe?
It contains belladonna and the herb Paris, both quite poisonous plants. That ought to make you think twice about dabbling with it.
So why did you give them the ointment at all?
Because I'm soft-hearted. You see, one of those women, Vera, lost her whole family in Skalitz. And Zlata's husband was killed. And the youngest of them, Kuta, miscarried with the horror of it all. They said they wanted to use the ointment to speak with the dead and ask them to put a word in with the Lord.
Yeah. I understand how they feel. But I reckon it'll get them nowhere but the ducking stool and the stake.
Judge not, lest ye be judged. I didn't want to give them the ointment, but they offered me a pile of groschen. So I thought how desperate they must be, and I heard their plea.
Their plea or the clink of their coin? And why are you so worried about them all of a sudden? What changed your mind?
I'm losing sleep over it. Firstly, those women don't know what they're doing. And secondly, folk might see it as witchcraft. And do you know what they do to witches?
They burn them alive.
That they do. So don't be surprised I'm worried.
It didn't bother you before, though. What did they want the ointment for?
Each one of them lost a loved one recently, and it's grieving them. They wanted to talk with the dead.
I've heard enough.
If you've heard enough, you must understand why I need your help. Find out from those women what they intend, and watch over them to keep them safe.
Very well. But only because the priest himself asked me to.
Thank you 1,000-fold. I'll go to the Reverend myself and explain. You take care of those women. Take care.
Would you teach me something about medicinal herbs?
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you.
Isn't that quite a lot? What do you say to this?
Come now, just a little more and we have a deal. Agreed. Now, listen up. Goodbye.
Oh, I thought I would get a point in alchemy, not herbalism. Alright, so we need to go find some women. Bunnies. So I am probably going to spend like 1 or 2 game days just collecting herbs and probably doing a bit of hunting and that kind of stuff. But getting up the herbalism skill, which seems like it'd be useful. I know you can make money making potions and all that.
I've heard something about a magical ointment.
Really? I'd like to know where from. And what concern is it of yours, anyway?
The herb woman sent me.
Gertrude? What does she want? More money?
It's not about the money. She's concerned about your health. That ointment can be dangerous, and she wants me to make sure you don't do anything foolish.
It can't have got any more dangerous since she sold it to us. Tell her we're ever so grateful for her concern, and goodbye.
Damn.
What was that?
Hey, try again, or no?
I've heard something about a magical ointment.
Really? I'd like to know where from. And what concern is it of yours, anyway?
The herb woman sent me.
Gertrude? What does she want? More money?
She'd like to know just what you're planning to do with it. She's worried about you.
What made her change her tune? You can tell her we plan to do exactly what we agreed, and not to worry.
Okay.
Hey, who's there?
What's that?
It's a horse.
I heard something about a magic ointment that you got from the herb woman.
You heard that where? And what business is it of yours?
Excuse me. Let's try the priest.
The priest is concerned.
The priest can go to hell. All he cares about is filling his belly. And then that bastard talks down to us from the pulpit about temperance and humility. It's because of his sword, the lords and the humans here, that killed my husband and children. Where was the priest then, eh?
Good to know.
You do know that what I've heard amounts to a burning offense?
What do I care about burning? Everyone I loved is dead. There's nothing left for me to lose. And I've got nothing to say to you. What I do at night is my own business.
Night.
I heard something about a magic ointment that you got from the herb woman.
You heard that where? And what business is it of yours?
The herb woman sent me.
Gertrude? What does she want? Haven't we paid her enough?
She'd like to know just what you're planning to do with it. She's worried about you.
What made her change her tune? You can tell her we plan to do exactly what we agreed, and not to worry.
Lost something here?
I should be getting some stuff on me.
Who are you? Anything else?
Dandelions don't smell, do they? Can I help you?
Show yourself. What's going on out there?
Hmm?
I just have that perk where if I'm wearing, or if I have a bunch of flowers, I get like plus charisma, I think.
Hey!
I've heard something about a magical ointment.
What? Who told you that? Was someone asking around?
Gertrude sent me.
And what did she say? Does she want to add something to the ointment?
No. She's worried about what you'll do with it. It's quite dangerous stuff. Witchcraft and sorcery never brought any good to anyone.
And praying has. For years I spit down on my knees. But where was God when that pack of humans came and slaughtered all the folk in Scarlets? I was with child. Did you know that? But the horror of it drove the child from my womb lifeless. If charms and spells won't help us, nothing will. We're doing no wrong. We go to the woods alone, at night, and we hurt no one. I won't say any more. You might twist it against us.
Okay, so we gotta follow them at night. What time is it? I think I'm gonna end this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll do this next episode. We'll follow them and see where they're going. Thank you all and have a great day, everybody.